because like then what makes, you say you have no life strategy, I have one, but still, somehow we reach,
there.
our goals in life. So this is very interesting, and I would love to dive in more deeply into
it would
that.
be,
Because
yeah, but I was trying to figure out when we talked earlier about it, like what is the common goal, like the common ground what we have that we both still get there, right? Welcome to another episode of In Sync, the podcast connecting spirituality and business. And this episode is about creating your own reality. And why we picked it is because we got a lot of questions, how we designed the life that we're living right now. And we want to talk about what is actually needed to create your own reality. If thinking and dreaming big is what it takes, if a life plan is what it takes, and what kind of tools and techniques can actually be helpful for you to achieve the life of your dreams. And let's get right into it.
Amazing. I love that.
I felt like this is such a podcast voice now. Did I change my voice? It's like so weird.
A little bit. I think you did. Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
No pressure. Okay.
But I really like the intro, because you guys, we were thinking about like how should we even start this episode, because it's such a huge topic. But just before this episode, we had like such a good conversation about creating your own reality and like envisioning things, and then we were meant to talk about something else, and then we were like, no shit, we need to
we wanted to actually record the FaceTime call, and like, damn, we should put it in an episode. Okay, let's record one.
So this is how much this podcast is on pulse with what's happening in our lives. Amazing.
Exactly. So okay, I can ask you the one question. Do you think that you're like actually living your dream life at the moment?
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, I would say yes, I'm living the life that I want. Is it like my ideal scenario yet? Probably not, no, because I'm in a transition period, but I feel like I'm on the right journey to do all of that, and I'm enjoying every moment. So yes, I am. What about you?
Some hiccups now and then, but I really want to go into your situation in a second, because I have two things there. I love how you're planning your life and how like everything is like, I don't know, you're like such an inspiration in terms of just going for something that felt like a year ago that this is not what you would do at any point. So I think you're redefining your life and yourself and your ideal reality like all over, like every once a year, I would say. So, and you just like literally moved to Portugal, like what, 3 days ago? In the middle of a pandemic. So that's why I was come
earlier, but
yeah, exactly. So I love that you are like, so you're just going for what you feel like, and then you're just like doing it. And the same happened for you to when you moved to Singapore. You just feel, okay, this is something that that would make sense for you and that feels right, and then just you go for it, and like very fearless. And I love that about you, and I think that's so inspiring, because just moving to Portugal in the middle of a pandemic where you have been in your safe place in Germany is like, okay, you go, girl, what the fuck. I'm actually I'm kind of jealous, but yes, I also live my dream life because I moved to Tel Aviv a year ago, as my
exactly you're doing exactly the same.
Yes. And you said, I also believe that whatever you feel is right for you, you should go for it. And I feel that's something like a calling, so to say, like a location that calls for you, or like a profession, and then you just you need to follow in a sense. But what you said, and I think this is so interesting, is the transition periods, right? I feel that sometimes during, like, one question, is it really necessary? Do you need to pull up with like transition periods? Or is it something that we are telling ourselves that we need to have some unpleasant situations along the journey to get there? Or is it really needed? And is this the problem that some people are just giving up in their periods because they're not there yet?
I think, transition periods, it depends on how you view them. A lot of people view transition period as something negative. For me, it has, I'm trying to not give it any sort of connotation, whether it's positive or negative. It's just a state that I'm currently in. Why do I call it transition period? Is because, I just moved here, like I'm, settling in. I still trying to work out where do I get my groceries, where do I go for a run, like small things. So that's why I wouldn't say like I fully have arrived here, like physically, just simply by the fact that I'm still finding my way through this new place. So when I say transition period, I think, so it has no negative or positive meaning to me. It's just, what it's like. So
but
yeah,
how
I think
would
that's
you
completely
feel
normal.
at some point then, I mean, transition in that sense really makes sense because for you it's really location transition, right?
Yeah.
But sometimes it's a life feeling, right, that you're not there yet. So for me, transition period was, for example, the last years I really wanted to move to Tel Aviv. I felt my heart belongs here. I felt I'm the happiest here. I felt I should be here, and I couldn't because of certain limitations that I actually gave to myself, because of work, because of like life, in general. And you can't just like move to another country from now and then. I mean, obviously someone can, as you can see, but I had this belief I cannot do it right now. So for years, and that's what I mean with transition in my case, was I had the feeling I'm wasting my time being in between. I had the feeling I'm losing time. I'm like just in between things without being fully present in the moment, right? I just was like, okay, I can't wait to be back. And I was here in Tel Aviv like every 1 or 2 months, it's like, it's not that I haven't been there for years. No, I came back and forth, and even the traveling part, I love to be here, but then I got back and the same thing started all over. I was like, shit, I actually should be there and I'm not. So this was for me a transition period. And I put up with it because I felt it's not the right time. But sometimes I feel you can get stuck in that period, right? At some point you just give up and life is happening otherwise and stuff. And that's why I feel, okay, is it needed? Should I have just moved years ago? Maybe it's a good thing that I didn't move there. And I don't know. But I feel a lot of people are actually stopping there because it's too hard in the transition.
Too hard,
yeah. Or they don't see the light at the tunnel, so to say.
Yeah.
But for me,
I think it's really a part of so I think it's exactly part of creating your own reality and like accepting that you won't get from here to your grand vision within just now with finger snips. So it does take some time, but I think it really, again, it comes back to like how you view that period. So why I also say transition period is because obviously now I've started a new business. I'm like finding my way, still my niche, like I'm trying to work things out, and I have this grand vision. Well, not actually that grand vision, because I can't say like I'm going to build the platform that is going to do that and that. I know what I can bring to this world, and like I know what topic I focus on, which is spirituality and enabling businesses making strategic good decisions to drive growth. But I'm like excited to explore what shape that can take. And so when I then talk about transition period, it's almost, it's not that I need to go through that period to reach that goal. It's like I'm figuring it out, like how exactly that goal will shape.
I think for you, I mean, judging from the outside here, what I see is for you specifically that it's more the transition period for you is always a learning curve. You don't see it as like waiting period. Let's really put it as waiting period until this happens, but like something you constantly learn and grow yourself and in your surroundings and figure out. And I think that's a powerful way to put the transition period, because you never feel that you're stuck or you need to put up with it, but you know that you're getting closer to your goal, right?
That's right. Did you feel like that as well when you were making the final move to Tel Aviv, that once you were here, you'd be like, okay, now it makes sense. Now I'm closer to that?
I mean, I just had a feeling at some point it will happen. And I tried, I was like baby steps. So I moved here like a couple of months and then I got back and stuff. And I think for some it was excuses. Also what helped me, by the way, releasing it. And I think we talked about it because again, you were such a role model for me back then when you just moved all your stuff to Singapore. And I was like, damn, what's holding me back is actually my flat, my belongings, my comfortness in the place that I am. So I just didn't want to leave my nice flat. I mean, it's a great flat in Vienna, right? But then I was like, oh my God, what's holding me back is a flat? I mean, seriously, it's not like, a life partner or anything, or friends, family. No, it's a flat. So once I realized that, and I got rid of half of my belongings in there, it was way easier than to really make the step. But it was such an excuse for like a year or so that I'm not relocating. I'm like, okay.
Okay, before I forget this thought, so this is why I have a life strategy, and you said earlier you don't have one, right?
Yes.
And we were discussing, like, we said, like, we do the same, like, or we are very much aligned in like what we want, and what, to like have these grand visions, but how we get there is completely different. So for example, I also had a flat holding me back in London, but what I did, my strategy then was, I knew this is going to hold me back. So I need to like make sure that at one point I'm going to get out of the flat. So I strategically had already, I terminated the contract for the flat running out at the end of the year. So this was like, I did it like half year before. So knowing that, I want to make a move, but coming to the point where I then have that liability is going to hold me back. So I made the strategic decision to terminate the flat. So that was a strategy, really. And so that's part of my life strategy, because I know how I can sabotage myself. And so I just create ways for me to not sabotage myself.
You're a bit far advanced there, because I also know that I sabotage myself, but I just I
but it's interesting because like then what makes, you say you have no life strategy, I have one, but still, somehow we reach, our goals in life. So this is very interesting, and I would love to dive in more deeply into that.
It would be, but I was trying to figure out when we talked earlier about it, like what is the common goal, like the common ground, what we have that we both still get there, right?
That we, I think, the strong desire to create our own lives and not be driven by external forces, and like have the values are aligned in terms of freedom and independence. You have that, I have that, and there's different ways of getting to that stage.
Yes, and I need to be, because I talked to a friend a couple of weeks ago about like the picture it makes when I'm saying that, like, I'm in Tel Aviv. That's my happy place, as I call it. I talk a lot about, life wanted me to be here. This is my purpose to be here. I love it here. I love every single second since I've moved here. I could not imagine my life being back in Vienna at the moment or anywhere else in the world. I really want to be here. But also creating your reality to really say it now the way it is. It's not as easy as it sounds. It sounds so fluffy, right? It's like, okay, yeah, she's living your dream life, and everything is nice. I have a company registered in Austria with my co-founder. I have my team situated there. I can work from anywhere. It kind of sound like a dream life. Also, I have a really great apartment. I have a dog here, so life is good. But there's a lot of things that, if you have the bird view and things, and I love it, and I'm eternally and everyday grateful. I also have an affirmation on my balcony door saying I'm being grateful for this every day. So I love it. I really appreciate my life rolled out like that and being here at every second. But then again, I also need to point out that there are like certain restrictions and challenges every day, right? It's not that everything is rosy and nice once you get there. So we talked about life admin earlier, like, handling with the flat back in Vienna, all those things, visa issues that I have, money issues. So creating my own reality. Yes, my own reality, my dream reality, to be very fairly spoken, is to have a lot of money. I still don't have that. So it's not only like, that would be maybe an experiment if we talk in a year from now on the podcast again, seeing if something changed there. Because another thing I noticed about myself, we should do that. Another thing I noted about myself is money was never important for me. Money was never a driver. Money was never the one thing why I did things, right? It was always because I believed in it. It felt right. And my gut feeling told me like, yalla, let's go for it. And so having like chosen the career of consulting, maybe like you would did, maybe that would have resulted in a higher paycheck for me. But I always went into the startup world, and I always lived with like a minimum budget, so to say. And also my life is designed around that I'm not, like using a lot of money on an everyday, or spending a lot of money on an everyday basis. But, turning 30-ish, makes you think a lot about your future as well. And at some point I realized, okay, maybe it's nice, I can do it. I proved it myself now, but maybe I should really put it out to the universe that I need money at some point, and then I should make money, like proper money. I still did not write a number down. I never got really into it, but this is something I should maybe challenge myself also to do, because I think like, I don't think like money is a tool, right? But it makes would make my life easier if I would have a proper paycheck today.
And again, here it comes back. It's so interesting. I love this because again, here I have a strategy and you seem to have no strategy. So my strategy, right? Well, so I mean, well, it kind of works. I mean, again, like first of all, when you use the word creation, then that implies a process first of all, right? Mm-hmm. So it's not like you say, I want to have that amount and you have it immediately. It's a process. But here, for example, my strategy is, so I need to earn a decent amount of money so I can serve more people eventually. Because if I'm always have like a small amount, there's only so much time that I can give to others and help others. So first of all, that can't work. So that's the first realization that I had. And in order to serve more, I need to build my business. And if I don't have the time because I'm on a minimum rate, I cannot have the time to build my business and eventually serve more. So that is when my strategy, then I was like, okay, right, how can I make a strategy out of that? So then I set myself a number and I said, okay, I need to earn this amount in that period of time. And the other time I use to build my business. So that's the strategy that I currently go by. Does it work? I mean, I'm starting out my business, been 8 weeks old. 1 week I'm like, I'm completely on track. Other weeks I'm like, not entirely. And so not working. But I think it is important to have these goals and a clear strategy how you get there. Because just putting out a number and not knowing why you put it out, it's not meaningful.
Putting it out, I swear I I put a number out once, I think 2 years ago. Like I do this yearly compass review, like at the end of the year, figuring back what was great in this year, what I want for the next year. And I put a number there 2 years ago. And actually in the middle of the year, of the next year, I made it. It was still when I had a paycheck in the other company. But I was like, wow, first time ever. And I just needed to put it out. I mean, I worked for it, obviously, but I think it helps, but it was never important. But I like what you do. And that like plays into my approach to life is not putting it on you. You need to have that for your own comfortness. But in order to reach more people, to help more people, you need a certain amount. And that's a very nice way to put it. So I think I can go with that.
It's probably, I mean, once that clicked for me, it took me a while to like know why I want to have that amount of money again. Like we talked about this in another episode, like why do you do stuff, right? And maybe the reason why you haven't put out the number yet is because you don't know why. I mean, it could also be as simple as, I need, say 5K a month to be able to like pay my mortgage or so. But then, you have that goal. For me at the moment it's like, I want to build a business. I want to go huge eventually. Like I want to serve more people. And if I continue charging like that lower rate, yes, it will still give me like a nice, decent amount to like live by and like have a nice apartment in Lisbon and, go to the beach on weekends. But my bigger goal is, to serve more people. So, the conclusion out of that is to charge higher rates and have more time to build that business. And I think that is why a life strategy and a business, it's kind of a life and business strategy is so important.
I think also, and I think, I mean, it's again where the energy flows, where attention goes, energy flows, right? And if you put it as a priority, obviously, you're like, as you said, creation implies the process behind it, that implies work towards it. So yes, creating your own reality, just dreaming about it won't cut it most probably. You really need to put effort in it. And again, if you have a clear goal, I think the priorities are very straight and aligned with it, right? So if you say, okay, I want to make money in this, then obviously this is what your inner like checklist is going through. Hey, does this really make money? Does this put it together in the goal that I want to achieve? And if money is never important and I've never thought about it, and if I'm not putting a process, a goal or anything behind it, then how should I actually make money? Like,
How exactly?
my mind is not on that, and that's very true, because it was never important for me. It was never. So, but I need to change it. Like, it's funny because I never managed, and I still don't. So I'm just like living whatever. I mean, for everyone listening, I'm good. Like, life was nice to me, and
She's very
I
good.
made some nice money. Made some nice money last year with the exit. But yeah, to have a constant flow, and like, I think I need to work on my relationship towards money when it comes to creating the reality. But, and I need to say that as well, I don't believe money is the number one thing in order to be able to create your reality.
No.
So that's also important. It's like, it's a
Yeah.
tool. It's a good tool to actually make it happen. But I don't think this is about it. And I see it now, even not having a like super fat paycheck. You know, like the way I approach life and the way I see it and the way I've been thankful every day. That's something that very much and way better shapes my reality, right? And sees it. If I'm having this thing with my friend that we are doing like every day, we're seeing each other, and the 3 top things we were grateful for, we are happy of the whole day. And like thinking about that every day and putting it out in the universe, it just shapes, first of all, your values. Coming back to that, you see what was important for you this day and what gave you really joy, and what made you grateful. And it also gives you a right direction in terms of what do you want more of, right? Because I've never said like, oh, that, yeah, the best thing today was like watching Netflix. No, but the sunset, yeah, that was pretty dope. You know, things like that. So I think all those like little things are way more nudging you in the right direction of your creating the right reality for you.
That's right. And again, like coming back to the word creating your own reality, like it is a process, and it is hard. It's not a smooth ride. So you just have to, you have to become friends with that transition, creation, journey, whatever period you want to call it, like moving here to Portugal in the middle of the pandemic, organizing myself a place to live, like trying to get my business off the ground, serving my clients, having clients canceling on me, it's tough. It's not easy.
No.
But it's so I'm just friends with the thought, that it takes, a lot of setbacks and errors. It's okay.
Yeah, well, that brings me back to
what
the
it
question. Is it really, do we need to put up with it, or
I think so.
I don't know.
I think life is not a straight line. I think life goes through ups and downs. I mean, you had it 2 weeks ago with your visa situation, it is, I mean, but again, it depends on how you approach it. Like, you just see this as, okay, there's a bump in the road. How do I fix it? But it wasn't a straight line.
Bump.
And it's a huge bump. But then you get out of it. Do we need to put up with it? 100%. That's just life. But I think people have this like wrong perception that they always think like things go a straight line. I mean, that shit that I went through since January.
Yeah.
I mean, unbelievable. Like, even it's like now I'm looking back. It's June now, and I'm thinking, Jesus Christ, I've gone through a lot in like 5 months.
Yeah, but like I think 2020 was it like that for literally everyone. I think everyone went through so many. But I also meant,
yeah, of course, with like COVID, but before that even hit, January, February, like with my old business and all of, those challenges. And then, well, I don't even want to go there, but then like being in Germany, of course, everyone is in the same boat. But I feel like, that's been a lot.
And I mean, just for the record, it's not only COVID happening this year. There was like bushfires. There was like now Black Lives Matters movement. Like there's like this year, like I don't know what the planners are doing to us, but it's really crazy energy on Earth in general. So I think we all, and I think this is a common ground then, we all come out like better and stronger. I really hope so for humanity in terms of change and, realizing what's important in life. Just saying that.
Yeah.
One thing, and I need to add here now, because it's such a buzzword as well, is law of attraction. Because I think I got into The Secret, I think it's called, right? This movie book that was published a couple of years ago. And I just wanted to emphasize that now, because it has to do with reality, right? Like the law of attraction basically says you can, you attract what you want in your life, just put it out there in the universe and it will come. And I tried it multiple times a couple of years ago, like really in the matter, like how you write things down and then forget it. Never worked for me. And I love, like the thing there it says, and I mean, obviously there will be a lot of people saying it does work, So I'm curious what you say, but it also says basically you just write it down or think it, and then it will happen. You don't need to really put work in there, right? You don't need to put thought, resources, effort, and then it just boom happens. Back then I wished for a camera, by the way. I always wanted to have like a proper camera. That was my first try, failed. Still, I don't have a proper camera. But so what's your take on law of attraction? I think we never talked about this.
So yeah, I will go into that in a second. I just wanted to say that this is the third time that the secret has been mentioned to me within a span of 24 hours. And why I say this is because I have asked for universal guidance to let me know, to tell you, give me a nudge into like, what is my, how does my grand vision translate into something more tangible? Like, so I have that vision, but I need to know like, what exactly is it that I'm building? Is it a platform? Is it, what is the thing that's going to happen? I've asked for universal guidance within that 24 hours. I've now heard the secret 3 times. So I'm going to be surely reading that book. I'm surely going to read that book this weekend.
It's fairly easy to read. It's fine. And I'm pretty sure you implement most of the techniques. But yeah, so go on. So you did not read it?
I have not read it yet.
Did you never go into law of attraction?
Okay, wait. The secret is the book about the law of, the law of attraction. No, I've never really gone into it. I think I understand the principles of it. I think I try to live by it anyway. So, but it will be obviously now that's a direction, a nudge from the universe for me to read it. What I recently came across is somebody saying like law of attraction should be named law of resonance. So because law of attraction is, as you say, like you think of it and it comes to you, but sometimes the universe gives you what you need and not what you want. And when you think about it as the law of resonance, like what is it that resonates with my soul, it leaves that flexibility in a way that your soul will align to what you're meant to be and not what you necessarily think you want, because that's also driven by like lots of other stuff, right?
I mean, I needed a camera. Just wanted to say it.
Did you get it? Did you say you get it? No, you didn't get it.
No.
See, you needed a camera, but maybe it was just not, you were not meant to use that camera and like focus your energy on other stuff.
I know. But still.
There you go. See?
Still, I want it. I'm just putting it out again. But yeah, I think maybe that would have changed my career slightly a bit, because I was really into photography back then and I really wanted to, focus on it. But still,
there you go.
Just do it as a hobby. It's fine.
And there you go. But you don't know where that might have taken you down to, right? So rather thinking about it like, okay, what I want, that's what I get. Think of it as, what is it that my soul truly resonates with, and that is what I want to receive. Of course, we are humans, so we all have these things that we want, so that's what we put out, but maybe we just should expect we get back what resonates with us. I mean, I surely got a lot of back that resonates with me, which I did not wish for.
Yeah, that's true. No, of course. But like, I mean, for me, the law of attraction, or like in general, putting it out there, or like that you get what you need, is for me also sometimes it makes me feel very passive in a sense, because what I love is like, I mean, I'm a kind of a control freak, right? And I love that I can control what I get, and having this like creating my own reality and using the universal laws for that. I love that. But then thinking of, okay, I can't do whatever I want, but the universe anyways like doing what it wants, makes you feel a bit, that you can't control things, obviously, and a bit helpless and a bit weak. So what's your take on that? How would you phrase it?
I think we are all on this planet to go our unique path, and there's that unique path is different, obviously, for each and every soul that is on this planet. I truly do think that some things are just not meant for us. And the more we lean into that, the more comfortable you can feel in the process. So when things don't work out for me, I really try to think about like, just let it flow. It's not meant to be. There's nothing, I mean, they say, there's things that you can control and things that you can't control. So focus on the things that you can control versus the ones that you can't control. And, it still doesn't prevent you from creating your own reality. It just means like that whatever you tried and didn't work, maybe, that was not the right thing for you. And in order to create the right thing for you, you need to try different things, and you need to create different ways in order to come to the right thing to you. So it doesn't prevent you from like creating your own reality at all. It's just a nudge that, that's not your reality really.
No, I think also for me, to be honest, it's very comforting because I'm a driven person. I love to create things and to do things and to take control of things and to have the feeling that I can shape my own reality. But then I also, if it doesn't work out and like something better is coming up, then I'm always like, okay, I like actually the approach of just, letting it flow and trusting the universe that everything is in place anyways. And I said it, I think, multiple times in other episodes already. I think as humans, we think we are way, more important than we actually are. And we are such a minor thing on Earth and in the universe. So, I think it's very comforting to say, okay, also the universe has your back and it does anyway know better, but also like just a hybrid version of like taking charge of things myself, but then also letting it go and accepting whatever life throws at me.
But I think you're making a very important point here as well, like taking charge, you just said. So I think we just need to make that clear. You and I are both also big advocate of taking charge and like driving things. So as I do believe in what you put out there, that's what you get, and I do believe in the universe having my back and all of that. I also massively believe in action. So just by like sitting there and wishing for things to happen, they're not going to happen. Like if I wouldn't have made the effort and
read the secret and then let's talk about it again.
Oh yeah.
If you're getting this camera, I swear.
I mean, like generally I do think you need to put like effort into things. So obviously when you focus your mind on it, and then the way I look at it is I focus my mind on that's what I want, and then I start taking action towards that, and that is what gets me there. Like I focus my mind on like, I want to build a new business, and I want to live in a place that ticks all of these criteria. And then slowly but surely I started like having conversations with people, I started researching, I started building that business, and here I am now, right? So without me doing that, would I be here? No, 100% not.
Yeah, that's very true.
I think it's important to know that there is definitely action involved. It's not just
that's very true. No, I like the hybrid version for people like us very much, that you can really contribute to something, but then again just accept whatever it is. And I think I think with you it was a couple of years ago when you gave me into this or you just mentioned it, it too shall pass. So we had a conversation about, just breathe through it and it gets aligned. And once I think I had a reminder on last year or beginning of this year where I was also like, I wanted to control the outcome so much. And it really helped me to go back and, read about, everything that is happening for a reason and, get aligned again with it. Okay, that's natural flow and it will pass and something better will come up. And having this as a reminder in the back of us that we should not control everything, but just like let it flow. And then it will result into even something better. And that actually was always true. I need to say, whatever I thought I want, the actual outcome that I could not influence was way better.
See, this is what I meant by law of resonance. Like what you want versus what you get might be two different things. So maybe we think of it as, well, I now think of it as the law of resonance. Obviously I put something out, but I do trust that whatever comes back to me is what resonates with my soul.
But in the end,
one thing
Now, in the end, it's just again a mindset thing, right? You need to be like, of course, you can like be sad and mad about that it did not happen, but you can also turn it around and say, okay, well, like you said, okay, then something better will line up. And sometimes it can be frustrating, but for me, also what helped is really like, again, meditation around that and really, thinking about in a positive way that something better will come up. And I never regretted how things turned out in the last years. Everything was better in the end.
Exactly.
So
in the interest of time, one big question we have not solved yet, and that is, do you need to have a life strategy or do you not need one?
And again, what you believe, That is true, I guess. I don't think it's needed. I think it's also changing a lot, like the same purpose, and seeing and observing you the last years, a lot of your life strategy kind of changed, in my perception at least. I think also for me. I think it helps, again, when it comes to one of the key takeaways for me is like, okay, the attention goes where, like when the energy is there. So obviously, if you have a life strategy, you will focus on actually achieving it more in that sense. And if you just go with the flow, you will also get somewhere, obviously. Maybe it's a bigger surprise, but for sure you're not stuck. So I think it can be helpful. And for some people that for sure they need it, like for you, I think you're a very structured person. So I think for you, it's definitely more important than like people like me, that I'm more like whatever. But I also do get it. If you have a plan, it gives you a kind of security and certainty in life and makes it maybe a bit easier to get there. Maybe.
I think your plan is, you have a plan. Even though you don't articulate it as I do, but although on these episodes you do, because you talk about, what makes you happy and all of that. So you do have that life plan, about what you want in life. And I think, that, and then so naturally you kind of flow towards that. And depending on your personality structure, and me, for example, I love strategizing. I love like making things happen quickly. So for me, it makes sense to like put a bit of actual strategy behind this. So I think we can conclude that depending on your personality type, you don't necessarily have to have a written strategy, but it is essential to know what you want to get out of life, and whether you flow towards that, trusting that you take the right action. Or you're more like me and you trust that you flow towards that, but you also like to be smart and fast about it.
Yeah. And I think one thing is also what helps in terms of outlining it and knowing what you want. It actually helps you seeing when you get there. Because some people, like, you just live and you don't realize that it's actually happening. Everything you wished for is actually happening. And because you never put it out there, it's just happening, and you miss the point of like being grateful and enjoying it, right?
That's such a good point, because that's also why it's so true. Like that's actually one of the main reasons why I have a strategy behind it, because I want to like look back and be like, oh no, I am actually ticking these boxes. I am like moving forward. So getting there is again like sounds like an end goal, but just knowing that you are actually on the right track. So it is helpful to do it like that.
Definitely. Okay, and as you mentioned it already, yes, time is passing by. So I'd love to summarize. I hope I got our 3 key takeaways. I would say the first one is definitely also, yes, a life plan is helping you to see that you actually got so far already. And we know that energy flows where the attention goes. So a life plan helps you direct it properly. Then I wrote down, if it's not meant to be, it's fine, just let it flow. The universe has your back and mostly knows better. And that goes also into the law of attraction. The universe gives you what you need, not what
you mean the law of resonance, not law of attraction.
I say law of attraction, but I need to read on the law of resonance. I think that's it. That was amazing.
I loved talking about this topic. I could go on for hours and hours and hours, but I appreciate that our listeners might want to have.
And we need to have another one once you read The Secret. So I'm like curious what your take on that. And in 1 year. Yes. Like, let's put it down. In a year from now, we're checking on us if I'm a millionaire or something. And what was it? I forgot the other thing already. I
also have grand visions for this podcast to reach more people. So I really hope in like this, in a year from now, like people will actually, see how taking a spiritual approach to business and life decisions will just help you like live a so much more fulfilled life.
Yes, that's
so true. Let's manifest that as we close this.
I'm putting it out there, and we're putting work in there as well. So
it's definitely, it's out there now. So universe, you can listen to that anytime from now.
Exactly. On Apple and on iTunes.
And Spotify and YouTube.
Okay.
Bye. Bye.